The deals begin. Padres, Dodgers, Angels.
Okay, let's go through the notebook of the teams that we cover extensively here in Southern California. We are waiting for the Padres to do something to find starting pitching. And I don't like what I heard early this morning, that the Padres are taking trade offers on the ace, their only established starting pitcher who's healthy, Nick Pivetta. This is stunning. We, of course, reported at the end of last week they were taking offers on second baseman Jake Cronenworth, as well as the young catcher Luis Campusano. The rationale is Pivetta's coming off a career best season, a.k.a. 2.87 ERA. Pivetta's due $19 million this next year, $13 million on the third year of the contract, but he can opt out after this coming season. And knowing what the whole world knows about pitchers and agents, everybody takes their pitchers to free agency as soon as they can. So the Padres must be getting messaging, John, that Pivetta is going to opt out. I'd hate to think of that. If you're trading Pivetta, are you going to get a younger, more controllable pitcher, but are you going to get an ace of your staff? Because right now, there is no Yu Darvish. And right now, there's a huge question mark as to who is Joe Musgrove. And right now, there is no Michael King. And the rest of that potential rotation looks very shaky to me. I'd hate to think you're going to let this guy go. Now, you'd get something back in return. I understand it. But would you get an ace? You might get somebody controllable, but would you get an ace? So, Padre fans, are you in favor of this conversation that AJ Preller is having? Because he talks to everybody in every hallway there in Orlando, including teams that he's trying to conduct trade talks with. I've been told from the people that I got planted in Orlando, they're talking to Miami about Ryan Weathers. They have talked to Miami about Alcantara. They've talked to Miami about Edward Cabrera. But the problem is the Padres don't have a lot to trade aside from Cronenworth and Campusano, and I don't know that they can get any of those pitchers just in a straight-up swap for one of those guys. They've had dialogue with Washington. That occurred at the general managers' meetings and again last week, but they need a third team to become a player in this to throw other assets into a three-way deal. The Padres, to me, just don't have enough to make a trade. And in terms of free agency, Merrill Kelly is out there. That's interesting to them as maybe a third or fourth starter in the rotation. They have talked to the Mets about Kodai Senga, but he's got a no-trade clause in his contract, but he is really affordable. I was told there had been conversation with Zach Gallen, but I can't put any of that into reality because Gallen has now become very marketable to a whole bunch of teams that need pitching, and I don't know how big the checking account is that the Padres have to spend if they're going to make a deal. They continue to bring in minor league pitchers. Now, with apologies in advance, don't get excited about Ty Adcock. Who? That's a guy they signed on Friday. Ex-Seattle, ex-Cub, ex-Met. He was with 3 teams last year. They signed him. Today, they just signed Dason Acosta. Now, this kid pitched pretty well in the minor leagues as a reliever. But how good is he? Washington let him go, and Washington's got no pitching beyond Mackenzie Gore. So that's kind of suspect, too. So that's where the Padres are at this point in time. You shocked by this Pivetta storyline that kind of broke at 7 o'clock this morning? Where do you think this goes? Are you rubber stamping it? Just trust AJ to do what he's going to do? Or you say, wait a minute, we need to put the brakes on all this. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, when I heard the news, you're like, what? What are you doing? I mean, you can't be trading him, but I don't blame Preller for listening to offers on anybody, and who knows, this might be like a red herring that he kind of leaks out to the media to get everyone like us focused on Nick Pivetta while he's trying to do a sneaky deal somewhere else. I'd imagine there's a little bit of that kind of bluffing that goes on.
I don't think he's leaking it. I think it's coming from other general managers that can't believe what I heard in the hallway or what I saw in the hallway or what I was told in the hallway because I was talking to him in the hallway.
It's like we're back in high school, Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, it might. I mean, if you were able to get 1 for 2, 1 for 3, there might be certain scenarios you might entertain it, but I can't imagine anything making sense because you'd probably get maybe a number 4 and then a minor leaguer, and that doesn't really make you better for 2026.
I concur with you wholeheartedly. So that's the latest on the Padre front. Would you dabble at all in any of these guys in Miami? I mean, Weathers was here. Weathers was young. He was force spread way too early. Weathers became a good pitcher, but he's had injury problems in Miami. Alcantara had a major injury. It took him a year and a half to get back. But his last 8 or 10 starts in Miami, that was the vintage Sandy Alcantara that we saw years ago. Cabrera's had physical problems. He's a dynamic guy, but you're not going to get those guys for Cronenworth. And Miami's not going to take on Pivetta's contract because anybody who trades for Pivetta's got to deal with the same rationale. He's here 1 year and he's out the door.
Well, you're talking about injury history with Weathers. I mean, that's fair criticism, but every pitcher has injury problems. I mean, even Pivetta has injury problems, and we all know about Musgrove and Darvish, and and Michael King had injury problems. So I don't know. I think it's intriguing if you can work a deal with Florida because it's Miami now, right? It's not Florida. If you can work a deal with them, then yeah, why not explore it? But I don't see I'm always doubtful of a boomerang effect of a player being dealt and then coming back like Ryan Weathers. My hunch is they won't do that, but the Alcantara thing is like right up AJ's sleeve. That's a common thing for him to go for that flashy name from long ago.
What about Mackenzie Gore, Washington package third team?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. It sounds like what they need. But again, it's the boomerang thing that I don't typically – it's fun to talk about, but I don't think it's going to happen in real life.
Okay, this is so much fun for those of us that cover baseball in depth. So much fun for the fans. Hot Stove League is lit. Okay, so we go from